We're live.
Hello, Wise partners. Steve and Chris here. Final morning of Directions Asia 2026. And this is our summary of yesterday, which was day two, plus a little bit of a sneak view of something that Wise is doing here on day three that's pretty special. Yeah, so day two was a very different feel to day
Yeah,
one. Very
very
different.
good. But at the same time, yes, it was a very different approach, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, day one was kind of like broad strokes, and day two was when Microsoft took the opportunity to go deep on how they're effectively trying to, I don't know, engineer this AI marketplace. It was a very clear strategic change in tone,
Yeah,
and so we'll cover off some of what that means for us in a minute or two. But
that's right.
it was pretty full on, and it started with the keynote.
That's right. It was a lot less vision and more
Yeah.
actually how it's going to work itself. And the keynote was a good juxtaposition from the first one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Went through quite a few bits and
So we had Gustavo Fuchs, who is the channel manager for Asia. Now, this is we're amongst friends here, so
mm,
I don't feel too uncomfortable in saying that was a whole lot of nothing. He tried to present the future of BC, but really it was a I think Charlie described it as fog knitting, and I
well,
completely agree.
yeah, it's if you've ever been to a Directions Day of Knowledge. It was very much the stock standard Microsoft vision statements as well as the partner opportunity slides that I think.
Well, it was one slide that absolutely no one took a picture of, at which I think you can see around the room the level of interest
Yeah.
because all the cameras come up and people are taking pictures. In fact, there is one slide that we took a picture of that we're going to talk
Yeah.
to in a minute or two. Part of the the change that Dmitry Chadev, who's the group program manager for BC, and Peter Boring, who's the one of the product managers, so they're both up on stage,
Mm.
working their way through a series of demos to highlight the power of the MCP server and
Yes.
the orchestration of agents. And that's what I mean. This felt a lot more, well, practically, what does this mean?
Mm.
And so, there were lots of examples of different types of orchestration attempts and things that BC was leaning into. And so maybe,
Yeah.
for those who maybe aren't so familiar with what MCP server means, do you want to kind of bring us all up to speed, Chris?
Yeah, it's more than happy to, because at the end of the day, it's not just an individual feature. So MCP or the Model Context Protocol, a lot of people compare it to APIs and integrations, but I think the simplest way to understand it is that it's an effective way for a large language model, or technically a small language model, to be able to query your data. So there's no integration of the data moving around. It is the AI being able to move in and actually assess the data package. And
Yeah.
that's the key thing. So being able to have that streamlined across a number of different channels as an approach was very key. And
Yeah, the agent isn't just responding, it's actually doing things. And so this was kind of key to the series of demos. So we
yeah,
had actual agents that were running and
orchestrating.
orchestrating work.
Yeah.
And in fact, maybe just stick the slide up. Take a
Yes,
picture.
there was a lot of content that they presented that we'll be sharing to you, which, as we know, won't come up on the Directions website anytime soon. But to give you a preview, this was a key one, the golden age.
Yeah, this new golden age of consulting. And so if you look across those five columns: assess and discover, design and scope, implement and validate, support, improve, and then strategic advisory and growth.
Yes.
What happened was that a lot of the sessions later in the day attempted to insert themselves into the kind of agentic flow of these five kind of
Pillars.
pillars. And so, if you look at pillar three here, for example,
Yes.
implement and validate, data migration agents, master data, read your way through configuration, validation, testing and UAT, readiness, change, and test agents. This is Microsoft's kind of pitch that we, working with you folks as our delivery organizations, we need to have a series of orchestrated agents to drive these types of projects in new ways. And so Microsoft were attempting to show how to get on that journey.
Yeah, it was generally a strong deep dive into it, but at the same time, it's Microsoft saying that this is where the partners should go. And from the sessions that we went through, it was very much that a lot of partners saying we will, but they
Yeah.
haven't yet.
Yeah, well, I mean the sessions were unbelievable missed bag. I mean, there was one right at the end of the day that I was actually quite excited about. It was the 4 p.m. slot just before we were due to go out with
Gosh.
Microsoft on the boat. We'll come to that in a second.
Yeah.
And it was called The Future of Consulting, and it billed itself as here's where an agentic orchestrated layer of tools will help, consultants like you folks in the field. And honestly, it was more, I would have rechristened this thing like the present of writing very bad Claude prompts. I mean, it was a very brave demonstration of what not to do, in my opinion. And the room was packed and jam-packed and full of them. Dimitri was there.
Microsoft people.
All the Microsoft people.
And the expressions just gave it away.
Oh my God. So I think my takeaway is that, let's just say, prompt engineering is still very much a developing skill in the wild. And for those of us who do lean in on this, there is a lot for us to move into that some of our partners and some other organizations in the BC domain are really struggling with. So we are going to spend a lot of time thinking through what the opportunities are for you all and what we can do to help you.
Yes. So it's clear that there's a lot of interest in this space, but as well as that, there's a lot of conversation and talk and presentations, but there's less actual applications and showing the work already done. Now, that's not to say that all the sessions were bad. To be clear, we've got 3 insights for yourselves. Basically, a key one, we sat in and participated in the roundtable on the expense agent, and we already given you the insights on that tool, but we now have it confirmed that the credit card feeds are due to be coming through within their release wave. And a key factor for us here is that they will be coming through and be based off the cards, not the accounts. So bank feeds and credit card feeds will stay separate. Last thing we'd say on this, though, as it is with Microsoft, they are rolling it out manually to begin with CSV imports, the exact same way as we had to fix that with their bank feeds. We'll have a look at this space. There were other sessions that Sal and the team spoke highly about. Telemetry on customer interactions was generally a great session from Waldo. If you've ever been in one of his sessions, he loves putting up a lot of slides, a lot of content, and that beginning a Where's Waldo picture. So we'll be providing all of that to you, minus the picture. But lastly, I just say the other key points that we were able to retrieve were on the sustainability, the subscription, as well as a couple key points from some of our other ISV friends. And you'll all be in the blog. You'll be able to see associated with these recordings.
Well, I mean, and the telemetry piece is a really big angle for us. So watch this space on investments Wiise is making in telemetry, and what that will open up for you all in terms of new ways of working with Wiise in the coming financial year. It's quite a big plug for what's to come. So that then led to the evening event, which was a cruise on the river on various large open top boats. And so let's just say the entertainment was highly questionable in both good and bad ways, but we had fun with it.
We had fun with it. Yeah.
I mean, the networking side of this event is, for me personally, when I'm looking in my role as kind of more strategic and trying to get a sense of where our key partners are moving, is to get 90% of the value. And so evenings like that are important for firming up next moves and conversations which will develop over the course of the coming months.
Exactly right. We were on the Microsoft table with all of the
Mike
people
Morrison and all the
present.
crew.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dimitri and all the directions team as well, while a lot of other people were dancing and
dancing.
Yeah, we were clearly naturally
very good
conversations about the next 6 months and so on. Yeah.
And then that leads to this morning, which is actually a pretty big morning for us. We have the 11:30 slot, which is not the slot that we would typically, plump for, the 11:30 slot on the third morning of directions. But what it's allowed us to do is have a series of conversations with our partners and key individuals on the go-to-market IQ presentation that we are about to give.
Yes.
Not just a presentation, a demo as well. And we've been pitching this as the only product launch external in many ways to BC in this whole event, but leveraging the value of the data at the core of BC for our customers to deliver, a growth engine for them as a business. Now, this is something that Microsoft have been hinting at in the sessions that is possible, but not a single session that we've attended has gone there.
No.
But we are.
Yeah.
We are going to go there at 11:30. And so I'm really excited about what this means. We'll obviously bring you all on the journey of GTM IQ in a short while, but this is our first kind of test the water. We'll probably have about 50 people in the room, I would gauge, and we'll get some first impressions on what this agentic framework will allow Wiise to achieve. Now, bear in mind, this sits nicely in Microsoft IQ, their IQ framework. So we're trying to push the envelope here, and we're pretty excited about what this means for us today.
Yeah, it's very much the Wiise approach. We're not trying to have it so that Wiise IQ is a bucket of data. We're trying to have it as an intentional go-to-market, a tool with different applications. Many of you have already seen one of these, the SPA, so the Spiced Prospecting Agent, falls into GTM IQ. And
this takes what we've done in the prospecting agent and explodes it into something that we are pretty excited about. So we're going to wrap up. I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been on this little 3-day journey with us. Please ping me or Chris separately and let us know whether you thought this was interesting or worthwhile. We will be sharing some pics of the key slides and bits and pieces in some blog content. And a lot of the innovation that Microsoft has shared, because there has been quite a lot, will make its way into the next series of engagement webinars. And we'll plan those out pretty much as soon as we hit the ground next week. So keep an eye out for those.
We've got 3 topics already lined up. But that being said, one of our highest attended webinars through this last webinar series was one that was requested by our partners. So please send through your request directly, either via the feedback tool on the partner portal, or just reach out directly to us. And to not forget the sessions today, we are attending the ones that you have requested. We'll be able to get live actual demonstrations of the subcontracting module, which has been delayed. And that's a good way to understand it. It's not just a subcontracting tool within manufacturing, it's the subcontracting module. They're introducing the same way as they introduced the quality module. That plus the enhancements to the finance and reporting module, we'll be seeing that this morning as well. But please send through any more requests we've got this morning. And once again, thank you very much, everybody, for attending.
And we're both on the overnight flight out of here.
Yeah.
Been an intense few days, but I've really enjoyed it, and I feel like we're connecting with old friends now, which is quite a nice feel. All right, thank you all so much. Really appreciate you joining us for these few short sessions, and we'll see you all back in Australia very soon.
Yes, thank you very much, everybody, and I hope you have a great day.
Bye.